Hello everyone, thanks for joining today. Today we have welcome to Light Up Conference. Today we have one speaker. He's going to discuss a very nice topic, Visual Studio and VS Code's differences. So we have a Suhas Parmeshwar. He's from Coimbatore and he's a full stack developer. So he'll be discussing with you regarding Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. Suhas, yeah, you can take over. You're already live.
Yeah. Thanks for the introduction, Asif. So welcome all. So thanks everyone for joining this Light Up conference, and thanks C Shop Corner. I think it's an awesome initiative. To raise funds as well as to learn some new technologies. So that's a very great initiative by C Shop Corner. So today, my session is about Visual Studio versus VS Code. So basically, I'm a full stack web application developer. I'm using both these editors and IDE, and I thought just to we'll see some comparison, and we'll see whether it's equal or whether Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code is better, and also we'll also go through a demo. Like I'll show you some interesting stuffs that you can do in Visual Studio as well as VS Code. So before starting, just a small introduction slide about me. So I'm a full stack web application developer. So it's been 2+ years in this IT industry, at certain point of time, just developing user stories was boring, and I thought it's time to give back to the community, and I thought it's time to share knowledge among other people. So I started writing blogs in my site called devsuhas.com, and also I write blogs in techme360.com. So if you want to connect with me, like you can use these handles in Facebook, in Twitter it's NG Suhas, in LinkedIn it's Suhas Parameshwara. So to know more about me, you can visit my portfolio called suhas.ninja. Yeah, so don't ask me about like why I kept that name. So it's the free domain I got, so I just hosted it. So this is small introduction about me. We'll just see the agenda for today. We'll just see what is Visual Studio and how to install it, and we'll see some cool tips and tricks. And the same goes for VS Code, and we'll just compare it, and we'll see which is best, or we'll see both the editors looks the same. Okay, so the first slide is what, why, and how. So whenever you learn a technology or anything new, it can be a framework or any cloud provider or any other thing. Just come up with these three things. So what is that? Why should I learn that? And how can I use that in my project or in my personal life to automate things? So that's the main three questions you have to ask whenever you learn a technology or framework or any other new stuffs. It also applicable to your personal life. Maybe if you buy some things, these three things which will be very much useful. So we'll see the list one by one. So we'll see what is Visual Studio, why we have to go for Visual Studio, and how we can use it, how we can download and we can use it in our project or for our personal things. So what is Visual Studio? I think if you are a developer, you'd actually know it. So basically, Visual Studio is an IDE. It is developed by Microsoft, which is used to code, debug, and run various applications such as web, mobile, gaming, console app, etc. Like you can able to debug and run using this IDE. So according to Wikipedia, it supports around 36 programming languages. And it also supports cross-platform, so you can install Visual Studio in Mac, Windows, or Linux, etc. Main focus of Visual Studio is that you can develop .NET applications. So that's the main goal of Visual Studio. Visual Studio was brought into picture to develop .NET applications. So if you see the first edition of Visual Studio, the main focus was to develop the .NET application. And yeah, the latest version of ES 2019 is actually 16.6.4. So I prepared this slide 2 days back, and yesterday there was a new release. So the latest version of ES 2019 is 16.6.4. And advantage of using Studio is that the code editor and debugger will support all type of programming languages, and there has been some major improvements done in Visual Studio 2019 when compared to previous versions like 2017 and 2015. So 2017 was kind of, the configuration should be high if you want to use that. 2017, I think 2019, the load time has been vastly improved, and also the project load time and the startup time has been improved. But we'll see whether Visual Studio or VS Code is better in later stages. So this is about what is Visual Studio. So it's just an IDE. It's about languages. It can develop applications, web, console, gaming, cross-platform application, .NET Core, .NET Framework application, etc. And yeah, the latest version is VS 2019. The next slide is why Visual Studio. So that's the main thing. The installation, updating, and extensions. So installation, it's a kind of cool thing. Like you just download an I think it's an exe, which is around a KB file, and you can select the packages. So let's say I'm just using only web, so I don't want any gaming or C++. I can just uncheck it and I can just install it. The installation and updating process of Studio is very it's very smooth, and it won't take much of your time. It will also run your background. The only thing is, like during updating or during updating of Visual Studio, you cannot able to use it actually. So that's the main disadvantage I'm seeing currently right now. You have to wait for updating Visual Studio. So it would be good if Visual Studio make it as a background service for updating, something like that. So, and the extensions, yeah, it has a lot of extensions which makes Visual Studio more powerful. Extensions like Intel Ecode or LiveShare. So LiveShare is my best extension, my favorite extension actually. So let's say I'm coding something and I want to share a workspace with my friend. I can just do a live share, and we can able to do a collaborate editing kind of stuff. So these kind of extensions makes Visual Studio more powerful. So there are a lot of extensions, I guess around 15,000 or 20,000 extensions, I guess. So there are a lot of cool extensions. So these things makes Visual Studio more powerful, which will also increase your productivity. And I'm using a tool called ReSharper. So I'm not sure whether you have been using it. So ReSharper is a paid tool which will be helpful for refactoring your code, or your naming convention. If you want to traverse through the files between Visual Studio, it will be very much helpful. So ReSharper is also one of the coolest extension. I'm using it for past 2 years, and yeah, it improves the productivity a lot. So if you get a chance, just check out ReSharper. The second thing, productivity. As I said, using these extensions, productivity will be nicely improved, and also apart from this extension, Visual Studio also has its own built-in, built-in shortcuts, built-in themes, built-in keyboard shortcuts. You can able to change it, and you can play around with it, which will also increase your productivity. Using these kind of extensions, which will also increase your code quality, which will you can define some, let's say we are working in an environment, we are a 4-member team or 5-member team. You can just place an editor config, and you can able to you can say the developers just follow this styling, and if they don't follow it, there will be a warning. So you can just create an editor config, and you can just share it among your solution. DevOps, yeah, you can integrate, you can integrate your CI/CD pipelines into if you use a Team Foundation server or GitHub, like you can integrate in Visual Studio, and you can able to pull our code. You can also check in or check out code in TFS. You can also use a GitHub. You can also use a Bitbucket. So using these kind of things, you can basically this kind of version control can be integrated, can be used in Visual Studio as an extension, and that will be very much useful to do some code reviews. So you can also do some code reviews. If let's say a junior developer submits me a code review, I can able to comment it, and I can give some changes. So DevOps can be easily integrated, and extensions and different, sorry, so there are 2 extensions, sorry for that. And there are different types of editions, as I said. So let's say if you are a student, you can go for a community edition. Community edition is completely free, and there are 2 more editions, enterprise and professional. So if you want to use it for free, you can just go for community edition. Let's say if you want to try out Visual Studio, you can just go for community. I think it will be very much useful. Enterprise, so I'm currently using enterprise since I'm working for a company, like they bought me an enterprise license. So I'm currently using enterprise. I think there are nothing much difference between the community, professional, and enterprise. Is the usage, actually the data usage you are using actually. So that's not a problem. Like if you are if you're good to go with Community Edition, you can just use it. So this is some of the main reasons, like you want to go for Visual Studio. So there are also other IDEs like Eclipse, some other IDEs. You can also go for Eclipse or NetBeans or something like IDEs. But Visual Studio is mainly focused on creating .NET applications, and uh, I think there are no better IDEs which will be used for creating .NET applications. So Visual Studio is one of a kind, and you can just use it. How Visual Studio can be downloaded? You can just go to visualstudio.com/downloads and you can just download it. I think I have talked it. So, I prefer to show things actually to just running on slide. I prefer to show things. So we'll just I'll just show you how Visual Studio looks, and we'll see some of the interesting things that Visual Studio can do. So let me switch on to demo. So let's say I'll minimize this screen, everything. So this is the Visual Studio icon. If you see in the right corner, it says Visual Studio 2019. And if I just right click and if I say right click and run as administrator, so this is the new screen, Visual Studio 2019. So this is also a new screen which they bought in this 2019 version. So what's the use of this version, this new thing? So this new projects link won't be present in 2017 or 2015. It will be present from 2019, I guess. So this is the new screen, like you can able to clone or check out code from GitHub or any other repository location, or also you can use Azure DevOps. Like if you use Azure DevOps, you can just click Azure DevOps and you can able to clone code to your local thing, and you can able to start code or make changes to your respective source control. And also you can open a project or solution, or you can also open a local folder, or you can able to create a new project. So continue with that code is like it will be a plain Visual Studio thing where where you can where it will be empty, and you can create project upon that. So for now, like, and one more thing is open recent. So this will be very much helpful. It will show you like today what all the recent projects I've been working on, and yesterday, this week, this month, etc. So this recent projects will be very much helpful for, let's say, if some of the projects are being recently opened, we can just open Visual Studio and we can just select it. So we just don't want to just remember the path of the respective project. So this recent thing will be very much helpful when you work on multiple projects. So let's say if I click create a new project, so there are a lot of templates available. So there are three categories here. You can first you have to select the language in which you want to develop application. So let's say I'm using C# or C++, F#, VB or Wix, any other thing. You have to just select the language and platform. So what are the platform I'm going to develop? So either it's a Windows, Mac, TV, Linux, or any other. So I'm just going to say all platform and AI bots. So how let's say how you want to package it, something like that. So let's say you want to package it for machine learning, or you want to package it for web or service, or you want to create it as a plugin. You can just select it. Basically, you can these are the templates available. You can filter the templates based upon these three drop downs. So for now, like, we are going to create and console. So these are my recent templates. So I'm using a lot this console of .NET Framework, console of Core, Bootstrap, Wix, and gRPC. So I'm using these templates regularly. So it's just showing me as a recent project templates. So let's say I'm going to use console app.NET Framework. You have to just select the respective template. You can also select it here. You can also search template. So let's say I'm going to say console app. It will just filter it up, and I'm going to select this console app, and I'm going to say next. I have to provide the project name. So the project name can be, for now, you can just give up the project name, and you have to select the location of your project. So for now, it's going to be under repos, and I have to choose the .NET Framework, since I choose the respective .NET Console application. So you have to select the .NET Framework. If you choose .NET Core, it will show you the .NET Core versions, and then create. So that's it. So this experience is bought in 2019. Like you can just create a new project, or you can clone a project from GitHub or Azure DevOps, or you can open a recent project, or you can create you can also search through templates of your project. So this whole new experience is from Visual Studio 2019, which you won't get in older versions like 2017 or 2015. So this is the landing page, so this is the Solution Explorer. So Solution Explorer, like it will show you the solution structure. So these are my project structure, and this is my editor. So where I can able to edit things, I can able to write some code like this. So I can just write some code using this editor stuff, and so here you can see we have several options on the top bar, and we have a search item, and we have some error list, output, etc. So this is Visual Studio Editor and Solution Explorer. The next thing I want to show in Visual Studio is the refactoring. So whenever you don't know what, so let's say there are some this using syntax is not been needed, so that's why it's showing it as a gray color. So let's say if I want to remove it, so if there is a bulb in your Visual Studio, just press Control dot and it will just show you some useful things. So it says remove unused directives, and if I just press enter, so all the using statements will be gone. So likewise, you don't want to delete it manually. So whenever there is a bulb in your Visual Studio, just press Control dot and it will show you some appropriate things. So let's say I'm developing an so let me write some code actually. So where name equal to light up conf, and it says name, I'm just saying if name dot, so like it throws me suggestions. So it identified a name as an name as a string. So that's why it's throwing me the respective contains, ends with, is equals, is normalized, starts with. So that's the it will give you proper suggestions. Visual Studio will give you proper suggestions. So if I change this to a number, and if I say hopefully name dot, so it's equals, so equals of int, you have to pass an int object and compare to get hash code to string. So now the entire function is suggesting is different. So if it's a string, it gives me a proper suggestion. If it's a number, it gives you a suggestion based upon the data type. So that's the main use of Visual Studio. So you don't have to worry about of what function needs to be used. If you just press control space, it will give you proper suggestions. So I can do something like this, and I can just go on building these kind of things. So I can let's say name dot equals of b. So I'm just typing some code. So if I just click on if, and if I press Control dot, it says invert if. So if I press enter, it just inverts me the if condition. So likewise, if say there are a lot of if condition, Visual Studio suggests you to change to switch statement. So you don't have to worry. You can just press Control dot, and there will be option to just convert it to switch expression. So it's just one click, so then your whole if will be changed. So likewise, there are a lot of refactoring, lot of things that Visual Studio take care of its intelligence, which will increase your productivity. It will increase your productivity very you won't imagine actually. So if you use ReSharp for 6 months, or if you use Visual Studio for 6 months, you will feel that actually your work will be done very sooner, and all these things, this and one more thing, shortcut is, let's say I have a class something a, and if I need to create a property, like we'll do something like this, right? Public int number, and we'll use a get and set. So for this we have a shortcut called we have to type it as prop tab. So that's it. So we just have to mention the int and int. So likewise, there are a lot of shortcuts, but just you can just keep in your mind like 10 to 15 most important shortcuts, something like this. Let's say we'll create models in our project, right? So during that time, this prop attribute shortcut will be very much useful. So likewise, there are a lot of things that can be done here. I have just showed only 5% because like there are a lot of things. I'm actually you can just explore it. I'm just leaving it to you guys. You can just explore about Visual Studio. You can just create a console app and you can just go on trying it. The one more thing is this search. Search is very much powerful. So let's say I don't know anything how to change the theme of Visual Studio. I can just search it here. I can just search theme and it will give you some proper suggestion. And also if I it uses some fuzzy kind of search. If I type it wrong also CDOE, I have typed it as CDOE, but it gives me some suggestions based on the code. So it uses fuzzy search kind of technique, which will give you proper suggestions. So let's say you don't, let's say if you don't know how to do something in Visual Studio, you can just use this search. So if I don't know how to change theme, I can just type theme and it will give you some theme suggestions. So this search is very much powerful. It also uses fuzzy search kind of technique, and you can also search online. So this search will be very much helpful. And one more thing is so there can be a solution in Visual Studio, the .NET application. A solution can consist of multiple projects. So now it has only one project. So let me create one more project. Add a new project. So I'm just going to add the same console app, and I'm saying light up 2, and I'm saying create. So now there are 2 projects. So likewise in an enterprise application there will be around in my project there are around 22 to 23 projects, but I will be focusedly working on like 4 to 5 projects only. So other projects is like static, they won't change, it's like a base project. So during during a load of Visual Studio we don't need that project. So let's say I want only 5 projects to be loaded, I can just select it. So let's say if I unload this project, so let's say I want only light up, I don't want light up 2. I'm just going to say right click, and so there'll be an option called unload. Unload this project. I'm just searching, yeah, unload project. So I have unloaded this project, and I can save this solution as a solution filter. So I can just right click, and I'm just, yeah, so that's a thing called save as solution filter. So if I click the solution filter, and I can save this as um, focused solution. So just I'm giving a name for it. So if I click save, this thing has been saved. So if I go to my repos, so open folder in File Explorer, and that's a focused solution.slnf. So the solution filter has been saved as slnf. If I open this solution, so now you can see only one project will be loaded by default. So likewise, if I have 22 to 23 projects, so I don't have to worry, so you can see there is only one project is being loaded. So the other project is not being loaded since I have unloaded it and I have saved it as a separate solution filter. So likewise in my project, I can just unload all the 20 projects, and I can just keep only 3 to 4 project focused. So these if you unload this project, the startup of Visual Studio experience will be cool. So you don't have to worry about of all these unnecessary projects. So likewise, this is one thing I really like in Visual Studio, and also the code snippets. You can define code snippets actually. So let's say edit IntelliSense, there's an insert snippet. You can so there are some predefined snippet. So define a dependency port. So you can see some port has been previously defined by this thing. So you can also create this snippet. You can also insert snippet. You can also create a snippet in Visual Studio. So basically it says it shows me some folder, and I'm saying test and test class. So a class has been inserted. So likewise, I can create a snippet, and I can just reuse it across my project. So that's also possible. And extensions. So extensions is debug. There'll be a thing called, okay. So there's a thing called extensions. I'm just searching for it. Yeah. So there's a thing called extensions. So here, this extensions, this is just an add-on to Visual Studio. So let's say I want to integrate GitHub in Visual Studio. I can just install this extension, and ReSharper. So this is my favorite one I was talking about. Likewise, there are a lot of extensions which will be helpful to, I can run. I can connect with the database in Visual Studio using some extension, and I can just query it. So there are a lot of extensions available, which makes Visual Studio more powerful. And this Team Explorer, I'm currently using TFS, so it's showing me my source code and some my work source control explorer. If you use GitHub, it will show you the check-in, push, pull request, all these things. So this Team Explorer will be helpful if you use a source control like GitHub, TFS, Bitbucket, etc. Okay, so this is so if you don't believe, so this is just only 10% of Visual Studio. So there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things I have left. So this live share. So this is the coolest thing I was talking about. So if I just click, there'll be a link will be given, and I can just share it with my team member, and I can just So it asks me to sign in with GitHub or Microsoft, and it will provide me a link, and I have to share this link to my partner. Okay. Okay, so it says some firewall is being blocked. So it says sharing, and the invitation link copied to clipboard, and there'll be invitation link. So I have to just share it to my partner. So let's say if he is using Visual Studio in Mac or any other Linux or any other OS, I don't have to worry about it. So you can just open this link and he can able to join. So we can do collaboration development irrespective of platform. So that's a good thing in using this live share extension, and we also have a audio call option. So you can just audio call, and so that's an add-on to this live share extension. So this is one of the coolest thing. You don't have to worry about the platform, and you can just do collaborative editing. So that's one thing, and let me end this live share, and also one more extension I'll show, and we'll go to, I think, VS Code. We have talked enough about Visual Studio. IntelliCode. Yeah, IntelliCode is one of the it is like an AI assisted IntelliCode. Like it will read your project, like how you are doing coding. Like it will analyze your code, and it will next time it will give you proper suggestion. So this is like you can train a model, and you can share it across your organization. So let's say in our organization we want to maintain all the same styling, same code styling, or so in some of them will use if else if. In some developers use switch statement, and some use ternary operator to achieve it. So likewise, this Visual Studio IntelliCode will train on your model, and it will give proper suggestion to all the developers across the organization. Like you can create a model using this IntelliCode, and you can share across your organization to maintain the code style. So this IntelliCode will be very much powerful, and it will it is so let me delete this things. So it will also give some suggestions in a star thing. So now it has not been enabled, so it will give you suggestion in star. The top suggestions will be given you in a star kind of thing, and it will be very much helpful. So this is just 10 to 15% of Visual Studio. Just go and explore. Like this is a cool tool. I'm actually love this IDE. So I'm using it in my day-to-day development activities. I'll do code reviews, and I'll do development, and this is one of the coolest IDE. I have also used Eclipse and NetBeans IDE, but it was not more user friendly, or the UI the looks cleaner, and it is very much focused in Visual Studio. Okay, so this is about Visual Studio. So if you have any questions, guys, so just leave it in the comments. Maybe we'll pick it up at the later stage. Okay, so let me go to the slide. Okay, so the next thing is VS Code. Yeah, VS Code. So what is VS Code? VS Code is it is an open source. They say they introduced VS Code, so it was also introduced by Microsoft, but developed and introduced by Microsoft. But initially it was introduced as a lightweight code editor, but now it actually became an IDE. So we'll see how it became an IDE from a text editor. So we'll also see that one. So it was developed by Microsoft, and it was built upon Electron framework. So if you are aware of Electron framework, there are a lot of apps like Skype, WhatsApp, desktop WhatsApp app, and all other apps there are a lot of apps developed by Electron framework, and VS Code is one of them. It is very lightweight, and it also has its own dark theme, white theme, etc. So why VS Code? Yeah, so initially it was introduced, as a normal code editor where you can debug and compile a JS code, JavaScript code, like Atom or Sublime. So there were some code editors introduced VS Code, but VS Code became more powerful with these debuggers and compilers for various languages. So they bought the debuggers and compilers for various languages, and also it supports cross-platform. You can also use it for Mac, Windows, Linux, etc. And it provides yeah, language specific documentation. Like if you go to VS Code and if you say if you're using Python or Java, you don't have to you don't have to worry how can what's the shortcut for using it. They have a cool documentation based upon their language, and they have built-in Git integration. Yeah, so I know I'm just hearing the sound of developers. This built-in Git integration will be very much helpful. Like you can use a GitHub, you can integrate, you can just open the code, GitHub code in GitHub source control in VS Code, and you can just type it, and you can just push, pull, fetch, sync, whatever operation you want. You can just do it from VS Code. And here also we have extensions. So by this power of extension, VS Code became an IDE. So what is an IDE? So if you go to the first definition of Visual Studio, we said like it is mainly used for an IDE is said to be an IDE if we can able to code, debug, run, and compile our application. So using this extension, we can able to install Python compiler, Python debugger, etc. So by installing these kind of extensions and VS Code, it started becoming an IDE. So there are a lot of compilers, debuggers available like C Sharp, Python, Java. I'm not sure other languages, so I'm aware of these compilers, but there are a lot of compilers, debuggers available for VS Code. In VS Code, so you can able to use it. And customization, yeah, you can customize VS Code. You can just change your layout based upon your need. The main important point is extensions, and VS Code is is very much lightweight. VS Code is only it's very lightweight when compared to Visual Studio. Let's say in Visual Studio, I want to have an SSD or i7 to run if I don't want to get and delay something like that. But VS Code, if you have only 4 GB of RAM, it would be it will also work well, and it will also work faster. But Visual Studio, you have the machine configuration should be very much higher. So that's the main comparison between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. So we'll see a demo. Like I'll show you. I'll also show you the VS Code thing. So where you can download VS Code, you can just go to code.visualstudio.com. So here you can just yeah, you can download it for Mac, Windows, Linux, whatever you want, and they have a cool documentation, and you can just use it. Node, TypeScript, Python, Java, C++, containers, Azure, remote, etc. And so you can just click download, and it will it will download even a small, I think, a 54 MB file, and you can just say next, 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 and it will it is just like a normal installation. And if you, this is the VS Code icon, if I just right click and if I say new window, so this is the VS Code actually. So it was built upon Electron framework. So there won't be any options, something like this. So you'll be able to see folder, and this is the Git actually, source control, and this is run. This is extensions and live share. So here also we have live share like Visual Studio, and this is code time. This is one of my extension. Like it will track my how much I code actually. So it will track how much keystrokes I'm using. And Azure, so so those who are aware of Azure, like I can manage some Azure resources using VS Code. Yeah, that's possible in VS Code. So this VS Code, so this is the source control explorer. I can able to open. So let me open a folder. So see project sample, and if I open this, so I also work on Angular. So I use this VS Code thing. So Angular is a framework used for web application development. So here, I have some so here I can able to open this thing, you know, it loads faster. I just selected it and it opened faster. So it's just lightweight, and you can also create a new file, new folder, and you can able to browse through files using this thing, and I can just go to this HTML stuff. So this is very lightweight, and you can just open a folder something like this, and you can also, if you want to search any string on all these files, you can just use this search. I can just say enter, and if it's not there, I can say margin, and it will give you all the you know, all the occurrence. You know, the search is very much faster. So it will be very much it is very lightweight, and it's very much faster. And other thing is source control. Yeah, if I have Git, I can see there are a lot of things which has to be pushed into Git. I can just say push from this extension. The main thing is extension. So this is what I was talking about, you know. So there are a lot of extensions. So let me check out the number of extension. Visual Studio Code extensions. So actually I forgot the code. Um, okay, I think it's around 16 or 15K plus extensions in VS Code, but it has, you know, a lot of extensions. You can so let's say I'm using Python. I can just say I want to have an Python environment. I can you know, it is I can just install this extension, which can be used for linting, debugging, compiling, etc. And there are you know, there are a lot of Python extensions. And if I say, if I use Java, yeah, you can find Maven, Java extension pack, language support, JavaScript. So you know, there are a lot of the scroll bar, you know, it keeps on it keeps on going actually. So if I developing application using C Sharp, so I can just install C Sharp extensions. And let's say if I'm using more Angular, so there's a thing called Angular code snippet, I guess, Angular snippets. Again, it gives me some pre-default predefined templates. So likewise, it has a lot of extensions. You can just install it and you can play around with it. My favorite one is Azure extension. So let's say I'm so in Azure there are a lot of, so Azure is you know, it's one of the cloud provider by Microsoft, like AWS or Google Cloud. So Azure is you know, it's a kind of going good. I think it's been 10 years since Azure has been started, and it's going on very well. So they are approaching with new ideas like Azure Synaptics and SQL Hyperscale, and there are a lot of cool things happening in Azure. Um, some of the main requirements was let's say some of the main resources like logic apps. There are a lot of things. It would be good if we manage that thing in VS Code. So so they bought this Azure extension. So if I just search Azure, so it gives me number of extensions. So I can just install all these extensions I want. So let's say if I want to manage my logic apps using this in VS Code, so I can just click, and I have already installed it, and I can just you know, I can just install this extension. So if you go to this extension, so it will display the logic apps in my Azure account. So it's just searching for the respective logic apps and integration. So these are my subscriptions, and if I just open it, so it says that there are a lot of, there are these number of logic apps is being there in my subscription. So if I you know, I can open it. I can also open in a designer view. So basically a logic app is like an, you know, it's a flow actually. So you can learn more about logic apps. Like if you're interested, you can just go to my blog. I have written a blog about it. So this is a kind of flow. So this is the same thing which we do from Azure portal. Like we'll go and see what are the details we want. So you can see I can use VS Code directly. I don't want to go to any portal.azure.com, and I don't want to sign in or something like that. If I just install this extension, I can just view this thing. So likewise, you can manage your storage accounts, blobs, VMs. VMs actually it's coming actually, so it's not in current extension. The VM is actually coming. You can able to start and stop VM, and you can also create. You can also create a logic app. You can also create. You don't want to go to Azure portal. You can just create a logic app from VS Code. So likewise, this Azure extension will be very much helpful if you are an, if you are more focused on Azure. Let's say if you are in management of your Azure subscription, like if you want to take care of all the runs, you can just come to Azure and you can just integrate your logic apps, your storage thing, and your blobs, etc. And you can just view all the run histories from here. So likewise, VS Code, VS Code has its own shortcuts. I can able to do, multi cursor typing. So I can say Control Alt up arrow, and I can type simultaneously at the same line. Um, and and you can select and you can do Control Alt down arrow, and it will duplicate the value for you. Likewise, VS Code has its own set of thing, and the main thing is extension. Don't forget to explore it. So there are a lot of extensions available, and you can also in development point of view, we'll usually split the things. So likewise, open to the site. Where is it? Okay. So let's say there are we want to compare two files, or we want to like type something by looking at the reference of some other file. We can able to open side by side kind of editing, and we can able to do editing kind of stuff. So this is also possible, and it has its own shortcuts. So if I go to Control K and view, you can also change the appearance. So full screen Zen mode is my favorite. So let's say if you are stressed and you don't want to view anything at all, like I'll just go to Zen mode. So it will just be only file. There'll be no other thing, the no sidebar or etc. So likewise, you can just customize your thing, like you can move sidebar right. You can customize your code based upon your need. And if you don't know anything, so let's say if I want to traverse between the files, so I don't want to just open, and I don't want to open this environment, and if I don't want to click environment.ts, so it's a kind of bit hard, right? Like I want to go on click things. So that's an optional called Control T, and I can press Control T, and I can just mention the file name. So let's say if it's environment.ts, I can just travel through files. If I press Control Tab, I can switch between files, and if I want to go to a new file, I can just press Control P. And let's say if I want to explore the options that are available in Visual Studio Code, I can just press Control Shift P, and it will give you some cool things like breadcrumbs. So if I want breadcrumbs, I can able to enable it. So breadcrumbs will be very much helpful if I want to traverse between. It will also useful for traverse between the code. It goes on inside the code. So I can also able to enable it, disable it, etc. And there are a lot of helpful things that can VS Code also does, but VS Code is very much lightweight. So there are a lot of Git commands. VS Code is very much lightweight, and it's very much useful than Visual Studio in my case. Actually, in my case, if you think Visual Studio is it's best suitable than VS Code, like you can go for it. The one thing missing here is this TFS thing. If TFS is brought into VS Code, it will become more powerful. But these extensions, I think you'll be very much helpful. You'll be very much happy. Like if you explore this extension, it will minimize you a lot of things. So yeah, I can do live share and whatever I want. Terminal run, yeah. So I can able to run web any console application. I can just install C# console debugger compiler and I can able to run it. And VS Code is very much lightweight and it can be done easily. So this extension, so this is a code time extension. So it will give me, today I have coded around 2.6 hours and active code time is 2.2, and I just showing me some metrics. So it will be very much helpful. I think it will also show us a chart actually, so I'm not getting it right now. So there'll be a chart, and it will also it will be very much good to see. So this is a kind of wording. Code time today, 90-day average, and so there are also this kind of funny extensions available, which will helpful to track these kind of things. So this is about VS Code. So this I have said only, this is the same thing. I have said only with 15 to 20% on VS Code. So there are a lot of things. Like if you want to use, if you're developing a web app, like most probably you'll use Atom or Sublime or any other thing. For that, like you can use VS Code. This will be very much helpful, and you can also, this is basically, I have a theme in VS Code, so you can also set up your VS Code based upon your choice. You can give the respective theme, and it's also more lightweight and more powerful than Atom Sublime, I guess. So you'll get a more nicer experience, I guess, if you use VS Code. Yeah, so I think we heard a lot about Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. Yeah, so now I will just compare it, guys. So it's like, why I kept it Iron Man and Captain America, because in Avengers, like if you have so I'm a fan of Marvel and DC, so I watch more both Marvel and DC. So in this movie, actually, Iron Man and Captain America are both, like they are both are the most important characters in Avengers, but there'll be a scenario like they both will be fighting in a part. But yeah, so likewise, VS Code and Visual Studio is a kind of both of them is more important somehow in some case. Visual Studio, like if I'm using TFS, Team Foundation Server, or DevOps, like I have to use Visual Studio. VS Code, I can also use front end code in Visual Studio, but it's not, it's taking a lot of time and it's not more kind of user friendly. VS Code is kind of, you can customize it. So likewise, they have their own advantages and disadvantages, and so that's why I kept between Captain America versus Iron Man. These are some of the small differences, like Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio, like they say an IDE, and Visual Studio Code, they say it as an text editor. Still, they are saying it as a text editor, but I strongly believe, like by one day, like with the power of extensions, like it will become an IDE. And yeah, Visual Studio community, except for community edition, it's a paid IDE for enterprise, and Visual Studio Code, yeah, it's an open source software, like you can just go and install it, and it's very lightweight. Visual Studio, yeah, it's quite heavy on CPU and lacks on lower end PCs. Yeah, so that's the main point you have to keep in mind. Like if you use lower end PCs, just forget about using Visual Studio. And Visual Studio Code, yeah, you don't have to worry about PC requirements. It's very lightweight, and you can just so normally you see these kind of Electron apps are very much it will be very much lightweight, and it will be very much good to use. Visual Studio has built-in debuggers and easy to configure project settings, etc. Visual Studio Code, it has an integrated terminal, and also it has extensions, compilers, debuggers where you can install it. So these are, some of the I think these are the major difference between Visual Studio and VS Code. But in both the perspective, I see it as a balanced thing. Actually, Visual Studio is equal to VS Code. I'm not here to say like which is best, but in my perspective, I say Visual Studio is as important as VS Code, and vice versa. But in Visual Studio, you see, like we use basically we use to develop .NET applications. Like if you bring a if you bring any all the .NET extensions in VS Code, and yeah, I think it will replace Visual Studio. But since both the products belongs to Microsoft, like they are balancing it, and both Visual Studio and VS Code is being used by a lot of people around the world. And if you want, like, you can go and give it a try. It's a good product, I guess. Yeah, any questions? Like if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment, guys, and I'm happy to answer it.